Number 1.
My Landlord Stalked Me by Regretful Blob. So back in 2014, I was in a rush to move into another apartment, and there was not many available for the time frame I wanted it for. At least, not any good apartments, and definitely not in good areas. I finally found a decent apartment with 3 rooms and moved in for the time being. At least I had a place to live in while I was looking for a better place to live. The suite was newly renovated, so I was supposed to get new appliances as well. There had been a mistake with the fridge, and the landlord told me that they would replace it ASAP, and I should be expecting it within the first 2 weeks of moving in. About a month later, I got a knock on the door. I went to look out through the peephole and saw a man standing there with a piece of paper in his hand, and another man behind him.
Fridge,
the man said through the door. I opened the door and saw 2 men. The first man was a delivery guy. Behind him stood a man who didn't really care about his appearance, and honestly, looked like he just crawled out of a dumpster. I thought he was just a helper. I let the man walk inside and placed the fridge in the kitchen. The greasy man followed inside and introduced himself to me.
I am the new landlord,
he said with a smile. Really? Where did the old one go? I asked. I was a bit startled as he looked like a freaking homeless guy. Who the hell even hired him?
Oh, she doesn't work here anymore,
he said. Well, no shit, I thought. The delivery guy then said bye and left, but the landlord didn't.
Where are your parents?
He asked me. I told him that I lived alone. Big mistake.
No way! You look like you're 15, girl,
he said with a smile. Haha, yeah, I get that a lot.
What do you need a big place like this for?
He asked. I just told him that I moved here temporarily. He walked over to the kitchen and started to open and close the fridge door.
Just checking if everything is good,
he said. I just nodded and leaned against the wall and watched. He then just stood there, looking at the fridge and then back at me. Why doesn't he freaking leave? I thought to myself. Then he said,
You are very cute. Look at you standing there. You are so cute.
I let out a laugh, haha, and thanked him. No red flags yet. He then said,
I live on the first floor. If you ever want to visit, we can hang out.
I didn't know how to answer him. Haha, yeah, I don't think... Before I could say another word, he interrupted me.
I have no friends, and I don't talk to my family. I'm really lonely.
Okay, red flags are going off now. I asked him why didn't he talk to his family. He brushed it off and changed topic quickly. Then he started walking to the door and repeated himself once again.
Don't forget, first floor. Don't be a stranger.
I followed him to the door and locked it when he left. I felt a bit uncomfortable, but soon forgot about it. About 3 days later, I got a phone call from the place I applied to. I had landed a part-time job at Best Buy. This was my second job since I already had a job at an insurance company. I was excited to work at Best Buy. I was hired in the tech department and I love computers. Before I go on, I worked Monday to Friday from 9 to 5 at the insurance place, and then 3 days a week at Best Buy, mostly in the evening, but it varied on the weekends. So on the first day, I headed out of my apartment, took the elevator down, and was about to exit the front door when I heard a familiar voice.
Hey!
It was the landlord. Hey, what's up? I said.
Not much. Where are you going?
He asked. I ignored his question and just told him that I needed to go and walked out the door. I didn't need to drive to work because Best Buy was at a walking distance. About 3 minutes into my walk, I noticed a gray car driving slowly beside me. I glanced over to see who it was, and it was the landlord. He rolled down his passenger side window.
Where are you going?
I told him that I was on my way to work, and that I was going to be late if I continued chatting. I said bye, and I continued to walk a bit faster.
Wait, let me take you. Where do you work?
No, it's alright. It's not that far away. I work at Best Buy. I'll walk. I know, another dumb mistake. I shouldn't have told them where I worked.
Come on, let me take you. I'm heading to Tim Hortons anyway. Need to get a coffee.
Well, it wouldn't hurt if you dropped me off, I thought. He's going in the same direction anyways. I hesitated a bit, but then accepted his offer. I got into his car. I know, dumb of me, and let him drive me to work. It was a very short ride, but he did not fail to make me feel uncomfortable. When I finally got to my work's parking lot, I thanked him and reached for the door to open it, but it didn't open. Hey, your door is locked.
Oh, I have the habit to lock doors. Before I let you go, can you give me your number?
I lied to him and told him that my phone wasn't working and that I was just using it as an iPod. My phone wasn't on vibrate, and I was hoping to God that I wouldn't get a text message or any other notification.
Okay, then let me give you my number,
he said. He grabbed a piece of paper and wrote down his number.
Give me a call, okay?
Haha, sure, I said.
When are you gonna call me?
He asked. I don't know. I'll call you when I get the chance to, I told him.
What time are you done? I'll pick you up.
I don't know. It's my first day. I don't know how long I'm gonna be here for. I was hoping that he will fall for my lie. He unlocked the doors, and I stepped out of his car. I thanked him again and walked towards the store. Before leaving, he once again shouted,
Don't forget to call,
and then drove off. Jesus, what a creep that guy is. I threw the little paper with his number out and forgot about the whole situation again. The next day, I was a little scared to take the elevator, since he always happened to be everywhere I was going. So I decided to take the stairs. It led to the back door, and I was sure I wouldn't see him. I did this for about 4 days. I never saw him. Great, this works, I thought. On the 4th night, I was sitting in the living room watching YouTube videos on my laptop. It was about 10:30 p.m. I was kinda dozing off when I heard a knock at the door. I wasn't expecting anyone. Who could it be? I sat quietly and didn't move, hoping they'd just go away. Another knock. I tiptoed to the door to look out of the peephole. It was the landlord again.
Hey, are you up there? Open up.
Confused and tired, I opened the door. The conversation went as followed. Hey, what's up?
Where the hell have you been?
What do you mean?
I don't see you leave for work anymore. Did you quit or something?
No, I still go to work. I just have a weird schedule.
You never called me. I was waiting for your call, and you never called me. You promised.
Sorry, I just never had the chance to. I work 2 jobs, so I'm pretty busy.
I came to your work and asked for you, and they told me that no one by that name worked there. Did you lie to me? Did you lie to me about your name?
I was caught off guard. I didn't know what to tell him. I had indeed lied to him about my name, but that wasn't what freaked me out. Why the hell had he gone to my work? You went to my work? Why? I asked a bit nervously.
Because I didn't see you around, and I wanted to know where you were.
he said, irritated. I didn't respond. He then just stared at me for a moment, hoping that I invite him in. But there was no way in hell that I was going to invite this guy in. I am really tired. I need to go to work tomorrow. I'll see you around?
Look, I need to talk to you. Can we talk?
Honestly, I'm really tired right now. Can this wait?
Whatever, fine,
he said while walking away, still muttering something under his breath. I shut the door and stayed up for a bit, afraid that he'd return. Luckily, he did not return, and I could finally go to sleep. Another day of slavery was awaiting me the next day. So the next day came. I got ready for work again, and decided to take the elevator. The elevator door opened, and guess who was in there? Yup, it was him. He asked me if I needed a ride to work. I responded no.
Are you sure?
He asked. I told him once again that I didn't need a ride, and got out of the elevator and went to work. This went on for months. By this time, I had already mentioned him to my coworkers and my manager. They had told me if I didn't show up for work one day, they'd call the police. Sometimes, he'd see me walk out of the main door and he would drop everything he was doing to come after me, asking if I needed a ride. Other times, he would ask me if he could hang out and if he could take me on a date. Knocking on my door in the middle of the night was also a pretty common thing. One time, he was in the middle of a conversation with another tenant. The tenant was complaining about something that had broken in his suite, and that he needed him to fix it. The landlord told the tenant that he should go back to his apartment, and he will go get his tools, and follow quickly after. The tenant left, but he didn't go back to get his tools. Instead, he followed me outside and offered me a ride again. I told him no, and that he needed to do his job and help the tenant. He said that he didn't give a shit about the tenant, and that he just wanted to be around me. This creeped me out, of course. Now you might ask why I hadn't called the police. Well, the police wouldn't have done anything since he did not cause any physical harm, so there would be no point in calling them. Also, I had no proof of these things happening, other than him showing up to my work a few times. He would come to my work often to look for me if he hadn't seen me leave for work, or if he hadn't seen me in a couple of days. Or he would bang on my doors in the middle of the night asking me to open the door. I, of course, would ignore it. He had no way of reaching me anymore, because it was now clear to him that I was avoiding him. A couple of weeks passed, and I was awoken by the sound of my fire alarm going off. Oh shit, that's right. There was supposed to be another fire drill today. It was my day off. I quickly went to see if I still had the note, to see at what time they were going to enter the apartments. Maybe I still had time to get ready and leave the apartment, since the landlord usually comes in with the person who checks the alarm. I couldn't find the note. I got ready as fast as I could, and I was halfway done when there was a knock at my door. Crap, I thought. I opened the door and there was the guy for the alarm, and the landlord. They both walked in. The landlord didn't say a word to me. The guy checked the alarm and then said it was good, and they both left. I was relieved. That went well, right? Wrong. Not even a minute passed and I heard another knock at my door.
Hey, it's me. Can you open up for a second?
I ignored it. Louder knocks.
Hey man, I know you're in there. Stop playing with me. I need to tell you something. Come on, open up.
This continued for about 2 minutes, when it was finally silent again. I had enough of this fucking guy. I had to do something about this. That night, I was supposed to go to my friend's house, to hang out with her, and also return her laptop. She had given it to me to reinstall Windows. I got ready and left my apartment at around 11 p.m. It was really nice out, and I wanted to walk to her house. It was a long walk, but I really love walking. I took the elevator down. When the elevator opened, I saw him standing by his door. He hadn't seen me yet, so I had to act fast. Either get back into the elevator or sprint for the front door. In a split-second decision, I went for the front doors, but sadly, he noticed me. I heard heavy footsteps running behind. Before I go on with the story, I want to say that when you leave the front door, you see a big parking lot. In order to leave the apartment complex, you need to walk around the building. So basically, the front doors face the back of the building, and the back doors are in the front. I know, it's weird. Anyhow, when I got outside, I ran halfway around the building. I looked behind me. There was no one there. I stopped running and started walking again, but something inside me told me to keep running. Little did I know, the reason why the footsteps behind me had stopped was because he had gone to the back doors to catch me. When I got to the other side of the building, I saw that he had made it halfway around the back side of the building, which is in the front. I started running again, and he started running after me. He chased me for about 2 blocks while we both would occasionally stop to catch our breaths. I was close to the main road when I stopped running. My lungs were burning. I couldn't run anymore. What happened next? I had to fight. He caught on. Out of breath, he said,
Stop! Stop, man! You are killing me! Stop doing this to me!
I looked in shock, didn't say a word, still trying to catch my breath.
Why are you doing this to me, man?
He let out a small cry. For the first time, I saw a look of sadness mixed with anger. Stop following me! I yelled. What the fuck do you want?
Please, don't go. Please, come with me. Let's talk,
he pleaded. Talk about what? He was still trying to catch his breath. I didn't care anymore. I was shaking, tired, and I just wanted to see my friend. I didn't even make out what he said because of the adrenaline. I started walking again, turning around every 2 seconds to see if he was following me, but he wasn't. He just walked away, and that is the last time I saw him. Creepy landlord, please, let's not ever meet again. Edit. For those of you wondering why I never saw him again, it was because after that, he never got in my way. It was almost as if he disappeared off the face of the earth, and he never knocked on my door again. Also, there was a month left on my lease, and I moved away from that area.
Number 2.
Creeper Haunted Me for Years by Cirilla. Hey guys, so this is my first post. I read a lot on Let's Not Meet, and it made me think of a situation in high school with someone of a creepy persuasion. I didn't really realize how messed up it was at the time because everyone was telling me to brush it off. Anyway, here we go. When I was 15, I got my first job in a tiny rural town at an artisanal tea shop. Once the summer months rolled around, my job became working at an ice stand outside. It wasn't a bad gig, but it did inspire a lot of irritating and slightly creepy individuals to talk to me for long periods of time. One day, this scruffy guy who seemed a bit off wanders over to my tea stand and starts chatting with me. I kept trying to steer the conversations towards him buying an iced tea, but he was only concerned with talking to me. We'll call him Tom. He starts asking me how old I am, where I go to school, my name, etc. As I was still young and naive, I told him, trying to be friendly. Tom then proceeds to tell me about his entire life story. He told me how he was in his early 30s and his girlfriend died, and he had an overdose on heroin on the bathroom floor. No exaggeration. He stood there for hours going into detail until my boss came out and tell my friend to leave. I was definitely put off, but it was more sad than anything else. The next day at work, Tom comes back to my job. The moment I saw him, my stomach started turning. Great. Another day being annoyed? Tom immediately pulls out a 10-page handwritten love letter he wrote for me. I began reading it, but it was mostly just literally porn. He then continues to tell me that he's never met anyone like me, and how I wasn't trained by the world yet. This guy flat out told me I was his angel sent from heaven. Great. The next few days, Tom comes back every day at work with a love letter. Eventually, I just began throwing them out, or refusing to take them, and my boss had to tell me he wasn't welcome there anymore. If this was where it ended, I probably would have forgotten it about now. When he lost his chance to contact me while I was working, he started messaging me on Facebook. I recently looked back at some of the messages he sent me. One particular was a fiction story he wrote about me. The conclusion was basically that he decided I was too beautiful to exist, and that my existence was torturing him. So he pushed me off a cliff. I would block his account, and he would make new ones and message me poems, stories, and letters from there. After a while, he must have gotten sick of me telling him to fuck off and stop messaging me. Fast forward about a year and a half. I'm 17 and working at a dingy restaurant in the same town. It's a very laid-back job, and I get along with all my coworkers. One day, to my dismay, I see Tom walk through the door. I kid you not, I saw this guy's whole face light up with glee when he saw me. I'm surprised he didn't see the horror written all over mine. Again, he comes straight to me and doesn't buy anything, just starts immediately saying how I still look like an angel. I think he found me working here by accident, but once he figured it out, he was not giving up. He started coming back every single day and messaging me on Facebook all over again. I couldn't believe he was still doing this. One coworker I was close with, we'll call him Max, started picking up my vibe when this guy came in. He ended up telling me that he went to high school with him, and he got into trouble for stalking more than one girl, in addition for having a lot of drug issues. Basically, he was bad news. The next time Tom came in, there happened to be nobody else in the restaurant, and Max told him not too subtly to walk out and not come back. He didn't. To this day, Tom will still occasionally message me on Facebook from a blank account to tell me how much I'm torturing him. I'm not sure if he had real malicious intentions for me, but for my sake, let's not meet again, Tom.
Number 3.
Almost Stalker by Guns Go Bang X1X. This happened when I was 19 or 20. I was an attractive and very petite female, 5'3" and 100 pounds. I was at a beach near my house in New Jersey in the middle of the day, but it was early May and about 60 degrees out, so not too many people were there, maybe 2 or 3 on the beach if I can recall correctly. I was by myself, in my bathing suit, sitting on my towel, reading a book when this man came up to me. The man was probably in his late 30s, early 40s, fit, and what most people would consider attractive. He sat down on my towel and asked me what I was reading. I was already freaked out that a stranger would come up to me and sit on my towel with me, but I answered. He kept asking questions like my name, age, where I went to school, and I made up all my answers. Then, he moved over and sat right next to me and started putting his hand on my crotch. I screamed and ran, and luckily there was someone else on the beach at the time who looked over at us, so he didn't chase me. I ran back to my car that was in the parking lot about half a mile away. There was no other cars there, and I looked around and I didn't see the man anywhere. I assumed my scream and the other people on the beach must have scared him off. Fast forward 2 or 3 days later and I get a letter in the mail with no return address. It was stamped from a post office as a town in Pennsylvania, where I remember the man saying he was from. Keep in mind that I was still living with my parents at the time. I opened the envelope and it's 2 pages, front and back, handwritten from the man. I know I did not tell him any real information about myself, so I have no idea how he found my address or any of the information he wrote about. He knew my full name, the school I went to, I guess all stuff you can find online, my parents' names and cell phone numbers. He also wrote about seeing me at a place where I was just a few days prior. I was freaking out at this point and shaking. He signed his name and left a phone number, but again, no address. I immediately went to the police with the letter in a plastic bag in case they would look for fingerprints. I told the detective about him touching me on the beach as well. The detective said he couldn't do anything because there was no evidence of a crime, but offered to call and scare him. I agreed. He kept the letter, and I'm assuming he called the man that day and told him to leave me alone. I never heard from him again, but I was sure he was following me in a car shortly after. After I ran away on the beach, he must have followed me back to my house or gotten my license plate number to get all the information that he wrote about. But I looked everywhere, and there were no cars behind me when I left, or really anywhere in the park. I was paying extremely close attention. I also didn't go straight back to my house. I drove about an hour away to my friend's house because I was so freaked out and didn't go home until late that night. So he either followed me all throughout that time, got my information from my license plate. Not sure how he would do that since the car is not even registered in my name, or he had been following me previously. So, creepy man on that beach, let's not meet again. Hey guys, Psychotic Maniac here. Before I let you go, I would like to say thanks. Thank you for the support. I didn't expect my last video to blow up as much as it did. Seeing you guys comment, seeing you guys like the video, seeing you guys watch the video, seeing the views go up, it brings a smile to my face. Because I see that you guys are liking what I'm putting out. I see you guys liking the content. You know, it makes me happy. It makes me really happy. I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to putting out more content for you guys that you like. So yeah, thank you. If you like this video, go ahead and destroy that like button. And if you want to share it with your friends and family, go ahead and share it with them. Give them a little spook. And I don't know if you guys notice, but there is a button that says subscribe. Go ahead and click on it. You know, just to see what happens. You never know, you might get a little surprise. I also want to add that I made social media for this channel. You know, Snapchat, Instagram, and Twitter. And if you want to follow me on there, I'll put the links to my social media in the description. Again, thanks for watching. And remember, everyone is a tad bit insane.